Here's an idea how we might operationalize the process component of EOS. I'm going to log in. And in this example, I've combined the EOS version of the accountability chart with the traditional organizational chart. We see here the three key functions: sales and marketing function, the operations function, and the finance function. And then we have the visionary and the integrator above, which serves what we usually call the strategy and management function. Under each of these key functions, the structure for the organization, I've added seats or positions of the people in the organization who are participating in that key function. So here we see we have a CFO, a bookkeeper, and an administrative assistant who are under the financial function. We often call that the finance and admin function. And under the sales and marketing function, for example, we have a sales leader, or you could call it sales manager. And by the way, any of these boxes on the chart can be edited, removed, new boxes can be added, positions can be moved around. So for example, if the customer service rep needs to report to the operations function, we can put it up here, but I've just decided I would put it down here. So boxes can be added, edited, moved around, deleted. Very simple to create an accountability chart. And you would add the top 5 roles to each of the seats. If I click on this box, for example, here you'll see I've entered the 5 roles that someone in that position would be held accountable to. And I made these up from discussions I've had with other EOS implementers, such as lead, manage, and hold accountable the sales team, generate leads, convert qualified leads into long-term loyal customers, ensure all client accounts are managed effectively, professionally, and efficiently, train the sales team to deliver the highest level of service and professionalism. And you'll notice that while these are the top 5 roles, the 5, 10, maybe 12 processes that the sales leader would follow would be listed under here, either as strategic processes or tactical processes. In this example, I've only linked one process to this seat on the chart, so only one process is shown. But as the processes are identified and developed, each one is then linked to a specific seat or multiple seats on the chart to automatically create position-specific operating manuals for an employee hired for that position. So these are the processes that would be used to train and manage someone in that seat. I'm going to come back to the organization chart, and I'm going to click on the admin assistant, the administrative assistant, because this is an example of what a seat might look like where a more complete set of processes has been linked. So here you'll see that there's a process for them doing one-on-one meetings with their manager. There's a process for the administrator for the EOS session process. There's a process for greeting clients and prospecting, interfacing with clients, office communications. Each of these are processes with work plans and tools to help them understand how to do what needs to be done. All of the processes are going to be organized and listed in the 4 key functions area of our software right here. These 4 key function names can be edited or customized by the client. In this example, I've tried to match them to the key functions that I understand EOS implementers use, with the possible exception of vision and strategy. So you could call it strategy management and vision integrator. All of these key functions can be edited. So in each of these key functions, if I click on sales and marketing, for example, I can list and create the processes for that specific key function. And then these processes will then be linked to roles on the chart. If I go back to the organization chart, for example, and I click on salesperson, I can come up here and say add existing process, and I can search through and find processes that I want to link to the salesperson's seat on the chart. And by linking processes from the 4 key functions area, again, we're creating position-specific operating manuals for every seat on the accountability chart. All of the processes someone needs to be able to do their job are now linked to that position. Then if we come up here and we go up to user accounts, we'll link specific employees to those seats on the accountability chart. All of the company's employees would be listed here. In this demo, I've only entered 2 employees, myself and an employee named John Smith. I'm going to select John, and I'm going to create a control panel for him by linking him to the salesperson's seat on the accountability chart. Now I will log out and log back in as John Smith. And you'll see that TouchStone knows that John is the salesperson. Here he is. Here is his control panel. He logged in as John Smith. He's the salesperson. And if John clicks his position as salesperson, TouchStone presents to him the processes that he needs to do his job consistently. These will be all of the processes that the salesperson needs, and they will be all of the processes that the sales leader will use to train a new salesperson when they're hired on into the company. Now, obviously, in a client's account, there would be more than 2 processes that you're seeing in this brief demo. All of the processes linked to the seat called salesperson will show up here. And if John needs to follow a process, he simply selects it. So I'll click on referrals and testimonials. And there are a few tools here. One is a work plan for how to generate referrals and testimonials. And the other are questions that might be part of a client survey or a sample introductory letter or an initial call. If he clicks on the work plan, here are the step-by-step instructions for how to collect referrals. Contact the client just prior to or just after the completion of the project, and then send an email or text, and he can just cut and paste this into Outlook or Google. Schedule a follow-up call using Zoom, follow up with them at the appointed time, ask them questions, client survey questions, and you can click here and go right to the survey questions and fill them in here if you choose. And step by step, he can walk through this process. And again, if there are expectations or KPIs, they can be listed here. Again, this is what the sales manager would use to train the salesperson and what the salesperson would use when they're learning the referral and testimonial process. Now, you'll also notice that with John, I set John up as a user and with read-only rights. So if I click on the organization chart, he only has access to his job description. He can click here, and here are his processes that we saw a moment ago. But he can't click any of the other positions in the organization and gain access to their processes. Unless, of course, I've given him, as the administrator, I've given him access as the business owner, or the one who's managing the TouchStone account. I've given him access to those specific positions. I can give an employee access to multiple seats on the accountability chart. Now let's say I'm the sales leader. I'm going to log out and log back in as myself. And now when I log in, TouchStone knows that I'm the sales leader. I've previously set up Michael Mills with a control panel of sales leader. So remember, if we go back over here, go to user accounts and look at Michael Mills, well, here I am as sales leader. So when I log in, TouchStone knows that I am the sales leader. And let's say that I'm preparing for a level 10 meeting. Well, the level 10 meetings process has been linked to my role as the sales leader. So I log into TouchStone. TouchStone knows I'm the sales leader, so all of my processes as the sales leader would show up when I click here. And here's that level 10 meetings process. I click the level 10 meeting process and I open up the level 10 meeting document. I can put in the date and the time of the level 10 meeting. I can put all of my notes in here, and then I can save it. And this becomes a searchable document for the future. And I can, once I've saved it, I can also print it if I want to bring it to my level 10 meeting. And it, again, as I said, it becomes a level 10 meeting document saved in my TouchStone account for accessing in the future. So that's just an example of how, again, we might operationalize the process component of EOS